In this video, we're talking about 4 hobbies for each of the cognitive functions that you can use to improve and enhance your personality type. One of the questions that constantly comes up on this channel from commenters and viewers like you is, how can I leverage my personality type? How can I actually create a life that honors my strengths? Whether it's career, relationship, or hobbies, you want to do something that uses your personality type. And you want to do it in a way that feels good, that is not exhausting, but also challenging and exciting in a way that creates flow. You want it to be at that level of, it's a bit of a challenge. It's enough to keep my interest on it, but it's also something I know that I like and that I want to delve into more. So these 4 hobbies for each of the cognitive functions, you're going to have to use your personality type to figure out which ones to use best. I can't explain all of that in this video, but what you can do is just try all of these and see how you can stretch yourself as a person, how you can holistically develop yourself by activating more of these different cognitive function heroes, these characters within your psyche. So I'm going to go through these in the life domain order, LIFE, logic, ideas, feelings, experiences, and then we'll go inner world first and then outer world. So TITE, NINE, FIFE, SISE. So keep track of that as we are going through these, and know that 3 of these are going to be pretty standard hobbies that you might be able to come up with yourself normally. And the 4th one is likely something that you haven't thought of before, a way of combining the polarity of the cognitive function in a way that is going to challenge you a bit more. So first up is introverted thinking, what I call the analyzing adept within the RPG model. So this is mainly for the TP personality types, ISTP, INTP, ESTP, ENTP. But it could also be for the FJ types, because you still use that within your cognitive functions. First is solving puzzles, doing things like Sudoku or Rubik's Cube, actual puzzles that you have to use your mind to understand first, what am I doing with this? And then how do I apply my knowledge that I already have to this, to solving this problem? TI loves to solve problems. So puzzles are a nice way to stimulate that throughout the day. You're going to have to find the right style of that. It could be math, for all I know. That is the biggest puzzle in the world for me as an INFP. That's one I stay away from. Next, delving into intellectual exploration and analysis. You might want to study something that is really a high-level topic, quantum physics or something like that. Might give you that quenching of TI's desire for more and more information and data around a topic that is interesting to you. See, it has to be interesting to you, or it's not going to keep you interested. What are you going to do with it? It's not just knowledge for the sake of knowledge, although that might feel good sometimes, but you want to tailor it to something that you care about or that you are at least curious about. Astrophysics. I don't know. It could even be archaeology or something like that. Next, programming or coding. Learning how to code is something that I think everybody I know that has TI in their stack kind of has some pull towards, a little bit of lean towards. Whether it's an actual, like, with an intention of creating a game or a program, or it's just learning how to speak machine. What this does is it creates a different language within your mind that you can also apply to other realms and other facets of life. If you know how to break something apart and go down to the smaller little piece, the starting point, the first principle, then you can expand that out to create the things that you want in life. And improving that mindset, improving that practice is something that you probably love to do, that you can add more into your life. And as a bit of a stretch here, you could do improv dancing. Some sort of way of learning the exact specific moves. And this might be something that's better for ISTPs or even NFJs who still have the extroverted sensing and introverted thinking cognitive functions within their stack, you can learn the technical intricacies of doing the thing as well as bringing in the same emotion at the same time with another person. So you're combining the scary world of peopling with technical, leverageable expertise. And that will create this fusion of this is really weird and difficult with I'm good at this aspect of it. And when you merge those two, that's when you get a fulfilling hobby that is going to keep you interested if you can get past that first hurdle of difficulty. Now let's talk about extroverted thinking. This is the strategizing commander within the RPG model. And this is mainly for the TJs, ESTJ, ENTJ, ISTJ, INTJ. But this could also be something that FPs would apply to their life too, if you want to stretch that aspect of yourself. So first we have project management. Put yourself into a position where you can organize and execute complex projects and plans. Now, is this a hobby? For an FP, it might not sound like a hobby. For a TJ, that's probably something you like to do anyway. So finding ways of putting yourself into situations where you are organizing projects and plans and people and resources is a great thing. And it could be creating a business. It could be also creating some sort of board game meetup group. Okay, you're organizing the plans. And depending on your age and if everybody has kids, it could be a really complex problem. Next, strategy games. So getting into games that require you to think through the process of cause and effect and also how to utilize your resources in a way that is going to be effective and efficient. This could be board game strategy games, or it could be something like StarCraft, where you are managing your minerals and Vespene gas and your military troops, and you also have to scout and know where other people are, and you have to gain a lot of information, and that information is a resource that you can actively and quickly apply over and over again. You could do this with chess too. Similar to the first one, you can put yourself in leadership roles. So taking charge of teams or organizations, putting yourself as the leader who is going to organize the project. You could also do this with like game mastering. You can step up as the GM for your group and create your elaborate plans and really delve into the cause and effect analysis of what is going to happen when all these different character classes come into this engagement and what are their levels, all these other intricacies that you can focus on as you are bringing your group and team together. And a counterintuitive point would be to get into creative writing, maybe joining a workshop that has a specific goal and a specific plan for the creative writing process and what you are going to produce at the end. So you have your outline, you have your deadlines, you know what to expect and what your intention is. And then you can go into your introverted feeling and start exploring perhaps different aspects of yourself or different character stories. And this will be a form of self-expression that is still contained within the commander's love for getting things done and having a plan and a structure for it. Next up, introverted intuition, the visioning mystic within the RPG model. So this is for the NJ types, but it could also be for the SP types. And the first one is inward exploration. And it could be through meditation, it could be through hypnosis, exploring and getting insights from the unconscious mind, finding some hobby that is going to allow for that to happen. And it could be actual meditation, you are studying meditation, but it could also be yoga, which is a body-mind type thing too, that you will allow yourself to get into positions where you are getting more insights from the unconscious mind. And this lets you explore the deeper meaning of things, which is something that you're going to want to do anyway, so why not attach it to a hobby? Also, you can unlock hidden meanings through symbolism, things like tarot cards or studying dreams, practicing lucid dreaming. You're awake within your dream in a sense, and you know that you're dreaming, and then you can control and have the type of adventures that you want to have, or learn the type of things that you want to learn through your dream mind. This lets you tap into symbolism and unconscious patterns. Another one would be writing. Creative story writing is something that NJs often lean towards in a lot of ways, and it can be a form of expressing these underlying themes and finding meaning in things, or expressing meaning in things that most people don't naturally see. And you can do that through story, because story is one of the most leverageable things that we can do in communication for encapsulating our ideas and giving them to other people. And to turn that up a little bit more, for the fourth one, it would be possibly doing a filmmaking documentary. So you are creating or exploring a narrative that is unknown to most people, or something that they don't necessarily think about. And then you're bringing in visuals and the SE realm of things as you are exploring and explaining what is important about that topic. And it could even be through conspiracy theory stuff, where you're giving clear visuals of what is going on. But it could also be maybe something more like Vice, or exploring these topics that people are just not aware of. And you are allowing them to uncover these hidden aspects of society or human nature, whatever really excites you. You got to bring that into your hobbies, of course. This is just one lens that you might be able to look at it through. Next, extroverted intuition, the innovating explorer in the RPG model. So this is mainly for the NP personality types, but it could also be for the SJs if you want to stretch yourself a bit more. Everybody's okay to use these hobbies as well. It's just a matter of who is naturally going to find more gravitational pull and appeal with these. So first up, creativity through brainstorming. Put yourself in an idea generation space, a creative problem solving realm. It could even be through escape rooms, or something that is utilizing everybody's opinions and feedback and ideas, and then you are mashing them together to find creative solutions. It could also be story writing. I just have that image of everybody in a story writing room, and they're thinking of jokes or stories and how it can go, and they're bouncing ideas back and forth. That's what you do within your mind anyway. But if you can externalize it, and you can have other people's feedback as well to act as springboards for different ideas, or more ideas, or different variety of ideas, that is when NE truly thrives. Next would be improv theater. Doing improv in any way that it comes, whether it's music or comedy or acting, that is something that NE is going to thrive off of and really enjoy, because it keeps things exciting and you never know what's going to happen. And you can always do yes and. This is what's happening. Oh, yes, and this is the next step, because we're so good at that as NPs. And if you're an SJ, then it really stretches you a bit more to allow yourself the freedom to embrace what comes up. Next, enrich your life through traveling. Go experience different cultures. Whether it's a culture within your country or you're traveling around the world, you get this massive hit of a different style of life, a different context that is likely very different from what you've experienced. And then you can pick up the pattern more for life, but also for that culture, and you can internalize it and you can explore it again and again internally through your introverted sensing, and then bring that out and apply that to new cultures. With language as well, this is another amazing thing about learning another language, is you have different ways of communicating the idea. And sometimes, for me, Japanese is just easier to communicate the idea than English is. Use your mind to go around and through different pathways to get to the idea that you want to say. That's exciting. That's something that is a good hobby or a good habit of mind for NE types. And the counterintuitive or slight switch hobby is doing something like historical fiction, writing stories about going into the past and reimagining different timelines or how this historical event could have happened differently is something that I'm sure that you would like to explore because you get to go study. You get to study about the SI aspects of things, which is maybe not something that you would really enjoy. Learning a lot about what actually happened through the cultural experiential records. That's the SI aspect. And then you get to apply your creativity on top of that and let it run loose with what could happen. What if this? What if this? What if this? Next up, introverted feeling. FI, this is the resonating soul within the RPG model. And this is for the FPs and also possibly the TJs. So the first one is writing and reflection. Writing, journaling about your day, what happened, what parts of you came up throughout the day, and how you dealt with that, how you felt about it. Creative writing on top of that is something that's really good, whether it is talking to different parts of your psyche, right? The part of me that is really exhausted today is the one that's writing the journal. And then on the next page, it's the part of me that is consulting or caring for that part, maybe. And then you write from that perspective. That's a fun way of exploring yourself in different ways. Next up, artistic expression in whatever way it comes is really great. It could be art, it could be music, it could be dance. There are, I'm sure, other variations of those. Some sort of self-expression, externalizing it in a creative way. Doing something that is authentically you, that you get to be you. It could be fashion design as well. Next up, mindfulness and meditation, finding a way to cultivate self-awareness and inner harmony. And it could be actual meditation, could be hypnosis, like I talked about with the visioning mystic NI, introverted intuitive aspect. But the intent is a bit different. The intent is not to clear your mind for an insight to arise. The intent is to filter and sort and understand what is going on internally in your emotions and your state and your identity and parts of yourself. And the counterintuitive one here, this would be public speaking competitions, signing up for Toastmasters or something like that, where you are talking about something that is truly important to you, but you're also learning how to logically structure your ideas. You're setting a time limit for how long you can talk about a thing, and you are learning the key points of how to logically express what is going on inside in a way that other people can understand and relate to, instead of dumping your logic onto them and hoping that they sort it for you. Bonus points if you get really excited about something. If you're really passionate about veganism or something like that, then you can bring that into your speeches and you can travel around and you can compete on it. It will be difficult, but it is a skill that is going to serve you for the rest of your life. That's one of the big reasons why I started making these videos, because I had to learn how to express what is going on inside of me in the external world. Next up, extroverted feeling. This is the unifying envoy in the RPG model. This is for the FJs and also the TPs. First, volunteering. Selfless volunteering, engaging in community service, finding a way to bond and help and support and serve and host for other people. And speaking of hosting, you could be an event planner. You can get people together and understand the vibe of the room, the vibe that you want to create, the external emotional realm that you want to create, and then organize the social gatherings to foster and create that, as well as to create a positive, harmonious atmosphere too. Another one, you could go into team sports, where you are building this morale of we need to work together and camaraderie as you are going for whatever goal. And the last one, I think comedy writing would be a really good one, because you are picking an emotion that you want to express. It doesn't have to be comedy writing, but you're picking an emotion that you want to express. And then TI has a really interesting perspective on comedy. It's focused on the absurdity of things, and it gets really pinpointed and critical of the thought processes of other people, or just like, why is this the case? And so it allows you to pick your emotion, the state that you want to create with other people, and then you can go into the TI technical aspects of what specific words could I say that would create that vibe. Next, introverted sensing, the stabilizing guardian within the RPG model. This is for the SJs and the NPs. First, crafting memory vaults, scrapbooking, album writing or creation, where you're taking pictures and stories from the events or the past and putting them into a nice contained tome that you can flip through and revivify these memories. And you can also share them with other people so they understand the value of them. Another one could be cooking or baking, where you are following recipes, possibly traditional passed down recipes from generations, as you are delving into the sensory experiences of creating that masterpiece of a dish. So this lets you have the comfort of following the tradition and the routine. You could also spice it up with a little bit of your own style, and that would be bringing in extroverted intuition on this like fusion recipes. But it really just lets you allow yourself to be in the sensory moment without being bombarded by it, and allowing you to follow through with knowing what to expect, but also creating something that is rooted in the past or in routine or tradition, something that is honored from humanity's experience. Another one I hear a lot, and I also recommend, is uncovering the past through family heritage, genealogy, studying your ancestors and where they came from and where they lived in the past and their names, and getting the whole tree of ancestry is something that's really cool that I'm sure you will get a lot from. And the last one could be urban exploration, finding hidden gems within your city or your state or your town or country, and documenting those and blogging about them, or creating a book, like a photography book about these different hidden gems within your culture. That would be a nice way of combining introverted sensing, because it's something that you're comfortable with. It's something that you like, that you appreciate, that you've built your identity around, your community and culture. And also, you are exploring more within that container. So you're learning different nuances of that. And that's a way of bringing in extroverted intuition on top without exploring a completely different new context, which might be unsettling. And last but not least, extroverted sensing, the engaging adventurer in the RPG model. This is for SPs and also for NJs. So as you would expect, this is going to be a lot of physical activity, being present in the moment. You can go experience the great outdoors. Outdoor activities like sports and hiking, adventures, trekking through things, through the forest, climbing. Those are all cool things that get you into your body, and you need to be present in order to enjoy those and embrace those and to be safe as you're doing that. So it creates a need for extroverted sensing to show up. Another one that I hear and I have experienced through my friend who's an ESFP is photography. It could be portrait photography. Maybe if you're an ESFP, you might lean more towards that. But it also could be landscape photography or unique photography, bringing in a little bit of introverted intuition as well. You could do some sort of obscure photography. This helps you be in the moment, be present. You're paying attention to the minute details as you do so well, and you're showing people how life is in a way that they likely don't see it. I have no idea what's going on around me most of the time. Next, martial arts. This is another good one for a lot of INJs as well, because it gets you into your body. But for extroverted sensors, this allows you to be present in the moment, to embrace what comes up, to be in your body. You could also do dancing as well. Martial arts just seems to come up a lot from my experiences talking to other ESPs. And the last one, as a counterintuitive one, could be Zen gardening, where you are engaged in this mindful meditative practice and also the physical realm of creating the external experience that you want to have within the Zen garden itself. Something to explore, something to think about. It would also calm you down a little bit and get you to get into that introverted, intuitive realm as you are still allowing yourself to manipulate the garden itself and be physically present. So I hope you enjoyed these hobbies and activities. Bring them into your life, and also let us know down below in the comments, what hobbies have you created or experienced in your life that are really good for your personality type? Let us know your personality type too. If you just say this is a good hobby, then it doesn't really help. You want to use your strengths. You also want to shore up your weaknesses too. If you want some more help with that, I've mentioned the RPG model a few times within this, so you might be interested. Go to poha.geekpsychology.com, POHA, Path of Heroes Academy. And you can learn about the 8 different characters, the archetypal heroic characters within your psyche. You get a bunch of different techniques and tools and activities, as well as a deeper understanding for each of those cognitive functions. And it's also quite gamified. So we treat them as characters. We do character creation for them so that you can consult with those different characters within your psyche. What would my adept do right now? What would my TI do right now? What would he or she advise me on? And the more perspectives that you have, the more flexibility you have, and the easier it is to solve life's problems. This holistic form of self-development has been really helpful for myself, but also for other clients and customers that have gone through the Path of Heroes Academy. So check it out, poha.geekpsychology.com. If you've resonated with the stuff that I've been talking about in this video, you will like it and it will be helpful. Thumbs up. All right, see you there. Bye.